you doing? Hey, how you doing? Nick James here, and today I'm delighted, excited, inspired to be joined by Mr. Grant Cardone. Make some noise! So Grant, thanks so much for taking the time to join us. Really appreciate it. Really, really psyched and excited to have you coming over to headline Expert Empires in May. For the very tiny majority of people, the minority of people that don't know who you are, would you do us a favor and just give us a brief background as to like who you are, how you got into business, what your journey's been? Super brief, because most people know you, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. So look, you know, obviously I'm an American. Okay. Don't hold that against me.
Sure.
You guys over there either like that or you don't like it. There's almost no in between. But you know, I'm just an ordinary person. Like I grew up from a lower middle class family. My mom and dad were both hardworking people, and my dad died when I was 10 years old. He was a hard worker. He left this much life insurance money. They call it life insurance money, but it's really death insurance. You get it when you die. And it left my mom, how do y'all say mum? You say mum over there, right?
Mum or mom. We get it. We translate it.
It left my mommy with five kids, and she didn't know how to earn income. She didn't have a job. She didn't have a business. So the income stopped, so she had to manage from this small stack of money that she had. We still don't know how much money that was, by the way. She would never tell anybody. She was terrified. And so, I think a lot of people grow up like that. Well, by the time I was 15 years old, 5 years later, first of all, I was in a lot of grief about losing my dad. And I was in a lot of anger because I couldn't help my mother. And I'm sure some of you in the room have had that experience, like wanting to help out, even as a young kid, right? When I was 10 years old, I wanted to be an adult. You know, when you become an adult, you want to be a kid again. So everybody wants to just act like Nick. So when I was 16 years old, I was so frustrated and so angry because I saw my mom scared about money every day. Every day my mother was scared about money. Eat all your food. I could hear it. I could hear it in the things she says. Eat all your food. Don't play with money. Money doesn't grow on trees. We don't own the electricity company. Turn out the lights. I mean, are these common things in that you're brought up with there?
100%, man. 100%. The UK, I think there's a lot of commonalities with the US. UK. It's very similar. Similar. Get
a good job. You know, save for retirement. A penny saved is
penny.
Yeah, it's a penny.
I didn't really get it.
A penny, folks. Hey, a penny is a penny. Okay. And even though I was brought up in a really good family, I don't have any Kanye West stories for you. The reality is that education of scarcity and lack and the inability to create kept me from creating sooner.
Sure.
Today I own 5 businesses. We'll do probably $160 million in revenue this year. I own, my mama taught me, she's like, buy a house, don't rent, buy a house. I own $750 million worth of real estate today that somebody else is paying for. I don't pay for it. So where I've come from to where I am today is like it shocks me every single day. I've written 7 books, 13 best-selling business programs. My mother, by the way, told me not to do every one of these business ventures. Okay. My mom was my best friend. Every business venture I've gone into, the real estate, the consulting business, the automotive consulting business that we created, the online platform that we've done, our media company, every one of them, my mother said, don't do that. It's a bad idea. Okay. So the point of that is, you know what? The people that love you will give you good advice for maybe 50% of the things they tell you is good. your sister and your brother and your uncle and your aunt and your mummy might not be the people that you want to get your expansion advice from.
Sure. I mean, it's part of the reason why we host Expert Empires. We have people like yourself come over because we want to get, I know the UK market, the community want to get inspiration, advice, recommendations from people like you that have been there and done it. So I guess one of my key questions really is our audience for Expert Empires and the audience, the market that I serve, we serve here in the UK tends to be people that have some kind of expertise.
Yes.
They're coaches, consultants, speakers, trainers, authors. What advice would you have for them, first of all, if they're getting started? How do you get a business like that up off the ground? I mean, you've done phenomenally well with your training business. So what's the first thing you need to do to get a business like that up and running off the ground?
This is a great question. And the reason that I'm so interested in coming there is I want to help trainers, experts, coaches, educators like you, consultants, those of you who want to be on stage and you want to help and you have this drive to help other people and you want to be paid for it. I want to share with you that the massive mistake I made for 20 years. I started my consulting business when I was 29 years old. I didn't really understand how to make money in it until I was 45 years old.
Wow.
Okay. Until I was 51, I'm 59 years old today. Okay. In the last 8 years, we've made all the gains. All the massive gains have been made in the last 7 or 8 years. And it's because I've been doing this 35 years now. All the real money and the real expansion has been done in the last 6 to 8 years, not the first 30 years. Literally, you could take the first 30 years, erase them completely, and I would have still done everything that I've done in the last 8.
Wow.
Because the first 30 years, I was doing and influenced by my upbringing, by what I was telling you earlier. Okay, your parents aren't with you. Your brother, your sister, your teacher, your teacher that taught you when you were in the 12th grade or 10th grade or where you got your algebra session from or gym class, they're not with you today, but they are with you.
Sure.
That's why these weekends, conferences are so important. Okay, they say knowledge is power. How many of you heard that saying before? Let me see a hand if you've ever heard that saying. Well, let me tell you something. You think that that's a good thing, and I think it's a bad thing because most people have the wrong knowledge. You literally have knowledge that is keeping you from growing your businesses to the levels it should be. How many of you have heard this before? Bigger is not better.
Make some noise if you've heard that before.
Yeah. Who said that to you? Whoever said that to you, quit on big. Okay. How many of you heard this before? Debt is bad. All debt is bad debt. Hey, let me hear you. Yeah. Dude, the guy that told you debt is bad went bankrupt. Okay. You don't get relationship advice from a single person that just got out of a bad relationship. Okay. And you don't get financial advice from somebody that's struggling with money. How many of you heard this before? Money won't make you happy.
Make some noise if you've heard that.
Yes. The guy that told you that don't have any money. The guy that said don't go big, quit on big. He didn't figure out how to scale the deal. Okay. When I come there in May, I'm going to be talking about how to scale your business, how to become a massive celebrity, not a minimum celebrity. How many of you heard before that more attention's not better? Like don't get too much attention. Yeah. You have to become a massive celebrity today. You have to get attention. Okay. Money follows attention. Money follows attention. Customers follow attention. If you have a great product, if you have a great service, if you are an expert, if you got a great book that you want to get out there, you don't need to worry about writing the book. You need to worry about selling the book. Amen. This guy told me the other day, he's like, I got writer's block. I said, dude, you got writer's block. You ain't got seller's block. You don't even label your disease correctly. You got seller's block. You got seller's block. You got attention block. You need to get attention. You don't need to have the book written. if my audience is big enough, my book could be, they ain't nothing in my book. And I would sell it. How many agree with that? It could be this book will take you backwards. Okay. If my audience was big enough, I could sell that book.
Sure. 100%.
So I want to come there and I want to help you demyth the things that I thought that I was told I had to do and that I couldn't do, like crossing over. How many have been told maybe you're in a vertical, maybe you're in a specific space, maybe you're in chiropractic or dental or automotive or a retail, you're in some space, some vertical, and you want to go horizontal, you want to go wide, and people are telling you, well, you can't cross over, it's too hard. How many heard that before?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you how to cross over. Okay, I was pinned to one vertical. It was very limiting. I thought I was supposed to go deep on one vertical. You don't. You want to go wide. So if I can come there and help you demyth, so like start moving the roadblocks out of the way, start moving the potholes out of the way. Literally, if I can show you what not to do, most people are going to know what to do. Okay. If you just avoid the obstacles and the stops and the barriers, you're going to be super successful. So that's my goal, to unveil to the experts and coaches is how to avoid the failures and set the right target for what you're really looking to do.
Awesome. Love it. Excited. So one of the things that I really wanted to ask you personally, and I think probably most of the guys in our audience would love to know, Grant, is your social profile and it's exploded.
Yeah.
Probably alongside the dramatic growth that you've experienced over the last 8 years. How's that? Like, how do people like the guys in the room here, how do they do that? How do coaches, consultants, speakers, trainers, authors, experts explode their social following so that they have hundreds of thousands, millions of people watching their TV show or subscribe to their database? How have you done that? Because my guess is with you, nothing's by chance. It's deliberate. It's constructed.
Yeah, it's totally deliberate. And again, it's, I mean, you know, you either have to be very determined or very angry. So for me, like, I'm an extremely determined person, but I'm also an angry person. I'll tell you right now, I'm an angry man. Okay. When somebody tells me I can't do something, like there's something about that communication, because I've heard it my whole life. Like my whole life, I have had people tell me what I couldn't do. And I was doing an interview on TV in America on one of the big networks. And when I was in there, they told me not to promote my book. I'm like, dude, the only reason I came here was to promote my book. And they're like, please don't promote your book. We won't ever have you back. I said, okay. So the guy gets me on the TV show. He asks me some questions and I start promoting the book. And the guy says to me, he's like, that's a shameless plug. I said, hey, everybody that sits in the chair came here to plug something, man. Here's the problem with your network. Biggest network in America. Here's the problem with your network on live TV. Problem with your network is, number one, your people need the material I am sharing with them right now. I can save the middle class in America. The entire middle class is suppressed in America. Number two, the problem is when they get off this show, they're going to go to Amazon and buy my book, and they should be buying the book at your website, not Amazon's. Okay. So I drove back to my office.
You're getting some love.
I don't need the BBC.
But you know what I love, Grant, about that is how many people sat on that sofa, that couch, on that show, and didn't have the balls, quite frankly, to plug, to ask for it, to say what they wanted to say, because they were scared of being shot down or humiliated or not being invited back. And
you're not going to look, first of all, you're not going to be invited back. You weren't going to be invited back if you did everything perfectly.
So you might as well take the chance, right?
They're not going to invite you back, okay? Unless there was a terrorist attack and you happen to be an expert on the scene and they're going to cover this for 4 or 5 days, or there was a plane crash, okay, or there was something that you're an expert at, right? There was a killing in some park, and nobody knows who it was, and you're the evidence person on the scene. Look, unless it's an ongoing story, they're not having you back. Dude, you could be Jesus and they wouldn't have you back. Right? You could be Muhammad and they'd be like, yeah, you got your 3 minutes this week, but we can't have you back for a month. Yeah, that is the reality of media today. Now, that brings me to what do you do about it? I came back to my office and said, hey, I want a studio. Grant Cardone TV. This is the angry part. Grant Cardone TV. We're going to have our own studio. We're going to use the distribution channels of Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. Okay. We're going to I am going to get a bigger audience than the network I just left. And we've accomplished that, by the way, in less than 7 years.
Boom.
So this fancy office that you see, I don't know what you see in the background here. It's got 10X. Can you change that? Change it to Cardone Capital. Just start changing it to different stuff. You don't need to start with an expensive studio. Our first studio cost like $400. And I went into that little studio every day and I shot material. And you guys need to be doing that. Okay. If you want to become the person, the expert, the master of your space, you must provide education free on a daily basis. And when I come there, I'm going to show you what we've done to blow a Facebook page up to 4 or 5 million views a day. Okay. I'll get a 500 million views. 1.5 billion views this year on Facebook alone.
Wow.
We get 80 to 90,000 views every single day. I'm sorry, 28 to 29,000 views every single day on YouTube.
That's unbelievable.
We probably get about 40 to 50,000 views on Instagram. Now, I'm not telling you that to brag. I'm 59 years old. I should not understand these channels. Right? I should. My average viewer on Snapchat. You have Snapchat in the UK, right?
Yeah.
My average Snapchat.
It's not a third world country like we are reasonably.
but I guarantee you, how many of you have Snapchat? Let me see your hand if you have it. Well, see, you're acting like a third world country because you didn't.
Touche.
You know what I'm saying? And the same thing in America. People are like, well, your audience in there, they're 14 years old. My audience is 14 years old on Snapchat, and I want to communicate to them.
Yep.
Because I know they're going to grow up one day. And one day they're going to buy my books. And maybe I'm dead when they're buying my books. But that's the play we have. I'm trying to do something biblical. Okay? To do something biblical means you believe in your product, your service, your idea so much that you want people in the next generation to read about it when you're not even here.
Yeah.
So when I come to the UK, I will show you step by step, not just how to make money, not just how to become a celebrity, but to have your legacy live on long beyond you, which to me is the biggest play of all.
Sure. Awesome, man. So one couple of final questions if we can, because we had a few submitted by members of our audience here. One was, out of all the books you've written, what was and I should give him a shout out, the one who put this question forward. Great question from Ian Rogers in our audience here. Which book did you enjoy writing most of all the books you've written, and which one are you most passionate about?
Well, I mean, all my books were written for me, number one. So you know how I write books. I write books for me to solve a problem I'm having. Mm-hmm. My first book took 3 hours to write. It's called Sell or Be Sold. It's never been in a bookstore. It's sold hundreds of thousands of copies. Never been in a bookstore. It's not published. Self-published. My last book called The Millionaire Booklet took 2 hours to write. I love books that don't take long to write. The 10X Rule is probably the most successful book that I've ever written.
Sure.
When I do a book, I also do video, I do audio all at the same time. It becomes 3 or 4 different products. Another little trick I'm going to share with you in the UK is how to multi-purpose one product. Mm-hmm. And how to actually make more money on a book release before you even release the book. And rather than getting paid $15 on a book, how to get paid $1,000 on every book.
Wow.
So I think it's important that people make money on their books. It's a tragedy to me how few books are ever sold, how many great books are never read, and how many authors never get paid for their work because they never sell their books. So, what's my favorite book? I hate books, to be honest with you.
But of yours, out of all of your books, which one did you enjoy writing most, and which one?
I'm just telling you, they're not my favorite. No book is my favorite.
All right.
So I'm just telling you, like when I come over there, you guys can expect for me to tell you the truth, which I think is really important there, right? Like, how do you go online? How do you sell products for 30 years to the public and not have any scam reports? That's really important. You don't want to sell products and have a bunch of half the comments are, is this a scam? I have almost none of that. We had somebody look over all my social streams and they're like, how did you do this, man? The products are good. We take care of customers. We make sure people are successful. Okay. The mission at my company is to make sure people are winning with my products. It's not how much money we make. The mission is people win with my products and services. That means I got to get them to open the book. And here's my problem with the book. Most people don't read the book. See, 82% of books that are written are never finished. So that's where we came up with video and audio and to be able to track where somebody was at in that book or audio. So if John stopped reading or Ian stopped reading, we could send him a message. Hey, we noticed that you stopped. What happened? Because if he doesn't finish the book, he is not going to tell people to buy the book. How many agree with that statement? Nobody's going to recommend the dentist if they did half of a root canal. So, look, I cannot wait to come there. This is my first trip to the UK as a business trip to help other people. So my goal is to reach 8 billion people on this planet. I mean, the center of the universe is the UK.
Boom. By the way, just so you know, you said right at the start, you're American, UK, you're either loved or hated. That's how you get them to love you, is to say things like that. The UK is the center of the universe.
Well, look how long has it been? I mean, it was Persia for a while, and then you guys took over. So it could reverse again. It really brings me to the last thing, which is this. You guys each control the expansion of the UK or the contraction of it. The same is to be said about your home, your brand, your family, your church, your community, your neighborhood. I want wherever I go, I want things to be better around me. The people around me should be doing better. People should have money. People shouldn't be broke around me. People shouldn't be suffering. I shouldn't have sick people around me. I shouldn't have employees that don't want to be at their job. I don't want to stay small. And that's another thing the consulting world needs to start thinking with. Is the solopreneur idea good? Or do you need to build a business now? Do you want to build something that when you go on vacation, it still works? Or you have to go on stage every time to make money? So I really want to talk about, like, what is the health of your industry, this self-help thing? And does self-help mean that you're going to do it by yourself, or are you going to expand? You come to my offices here, you're going to see 100 plus employees, another 150 outside. And then I want to have partners. I want to have tens of thousands of partners around the world so that we can expand the brand and really make a difference on this planet. And that's not going to happen because of governments. It's going to happen because of people like that are in this room, like Nick James. And so I'm really looking forward to coming there and expanding our friendships and our relationships.
But I can't wait. I can't say how excited I am, how excited our audience is. The core philosophy of Expert Empires, you just nailed it. It's about playing a bigger game.
Yeah.
It's about people that have got skills and talents and expertise and gifts that can really make a difference and transform lives and get well paid doing it. And that was why, you know, you were absolutely the number one choice I had to headline Expert Empires 2018. Can't wait to have you there. Tickets are going on sale on the 5th of February. So Monday, the 5th of February at midday. For now, all you can do is get your name on the priority list. Get your name on the VIP priority list. When you're on that list, you get first chance to buy your ticket at a big discount. Also, the first 200 registrations are going to get a free upgrade to a VIP ticket, which would normally cost an extra £200. You're going to get that for free. So for now, tickets aren't yet on sale, but get your name on the priority list. We're going to put a link in the comments, probably in the description of this live video for you to go ahead, get on the priority list. And I just cannot wait. Expert Empires 2018 in London is going to be off the hook. Grant Cardone, thanks for joining us live here on Facebook. It's been a pleasure. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, your audience is awesome, man. That's the best looking audience I've ever seen. Okay. Hey, and let's make the UK the epicenter of the universe again.
Yeah, okay. Let's do it. Grant Cardone, thanks so much. Enjoyed having you on. Get on the priority list. The dates of the event are the 16th and 17th of May in London. And first 200 people to register get a free upgrade to VIP. Go ahead, do it now. We'll see you in May. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nick.